Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into a fascinating source, one that promises to help you bridge that gap, between having great ideas and actually, well, getting them done. We're pulling insights from Start Finishing How to Go from Idea to Done.
It's a really practical guide.
Our mission, really, for you listening, is to extract the most potent insights from this. We want to understand why so many good ideas just languish.
Right, stuck in that someday category.
Forever. And more importantly, give you the practical steps, the mindset shifts to turn those ideas into finished, impactful projects.
And what's really compelling, I think, is how the source, it doesn't just give you productivity hacks. It really challenges some core assumptions we have about work itself, reframes them in a way that feels, well, quite empowering and deeply personal, too.
Yeah, it's deeper than just tips and tricks.
Exactly. It's more about understanding that internal landscape, what propels or what hinders our best work. So, okay, let's dig in.
So the journey starts with a pretty powerful question, actually. It asks you to reflect on, say, your last 2 weeks. How much of your time, your attention, your energy was genuinely focused on things that truly matter to you?
That's confronting right off the bat.
It is. And from there, it introduces this core concept, best work.
And this best work, it isn't just about output, like churning out widgets. The source really elevates it, describes it as something almost sacred. It points out this oddity, doesn't it? How work in English has become this kind of four-letter word sometimes, something to avoid.
Right, something we dread.
But this kind of work, this best work, can be the very thing that makes you come alive, feel joyful, inspired, even eager to get back to it after a holiday.
That distinction is huge. And here's where it gets really interesting, I think. The source emphasizes that only you can do your best work. It highlights your unique, mixed experiences, skills, perspective. It's like you playing your own instrument in this huge orchestra.
I love that analogy. It's very affirming. But it immediately raises the question, right? If it's so vital and unique to us, why is it so hard to actually do it? And the source is pretty clear. Sticking to the known path, the safe route, well, it just requires less courage, less discipline.
That makes sense. It's easier.
It is. And your best work, it gets easily pushed aside by things that seem easier or more urgent in the moment, less risky, or things that might please other people more quickly. There's always that promise of some idyllic future time to start when things calm down.
Which they never do. And a key piece of clarity here is that we don't do ideas. We do projects. A project is defined really simply. Anything requiring time, energy, and attention to complete. It's the unit of action.
Yeah, it makes it tangible. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the source uses these great metaphors. Projects are both mirrors and bridges. They're mirrors because they reflect what's really going on inside us, our passions, our fears. But they're also bridges.
Bridges to what?
Bridges to a better future, whether that's just for you or for the world around you. They're how you get from A to B, from vision to reality.
Okay, so projects are powerful, but why do so many ideas stay just ideas, stuck in someday? The source introduces this concept, the air sandwich.
Right. The air sandwich. Picture your life like as two slices of bread. The top slice is your big vision, your goals, your dreams. The bottom slice is your day-to-day reality, your current schedule, your energy levels.
Okay.
For many of us, there's this huge empty space between the top and bottom slice. That's the air sandwich.
I see.
Our ideas often stay hovering in that gap because we unconsciously limit them based on what we think we can fit into our current life, our status quo.
Instead of maybe stretching the status quo.
Exactly, instead of figuring out how to make space for what matters.
And this ties right into what the book calls head trash. Those self-defeating stories we spin in our own minds like, oh, I'm just not a planner, or I'm too creative to stick to a schedule. Sound familiar?
Oh, absolutely. And the dangerous part is these stories become self-fulfilling prophecies. If you believe you can't plan, you probably won't.
So true.
But the source offers this really practical, almost simple technique from Mark and Angel Chernoff to deal with this head trash. When you catch yourself thinking something negative, like, I'll never finish this,
Right.
You preface it with, the story I'm telling myself is.
Okay, the story I'm telling myself is, I'll never finish this.
Exactly. Then you ask two questions. Can I be absolutely certain this story is true? Probably not. And then what's one other more constructive possibility? It's like shining a light on the monster under the bed. Head trash thrives in the dark. Naming it takes away some of its power.
I like that, just bringing it into the light. So, okay, we've started to tackle the internal stuff. How do we actually unlock the best work? The Source talks about 5 core keys: intention, awareness, boundaries, courage, and discipline. It frames them almost like modern virtues.
Yeah, it moves beyond just tactics. Let's zoom in on two of those. Awareness and discipline. They seem foundational.
Hmm.
Awareness is crucial, not just for knowing what your best work actually is, but for noticing how you feel when you're doing it.
How your energy shifts.
Precisely. Paying attention to what lights you up versus what makes you feel kind of stifled or numb. You can't manage what you don't notice, right?
Makes sense. You need that feedback loop.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's discipline, which, let's be honest, can have negative connotations. We think punishment, restriction.
Totally. From childhood, maybe.
Yeah.
But the Source flips that script completely. It argues discipline isn't about restriction. It's what channels our energy to purposeful, constructive action.
So it enables action rather than preventing it.
Exactly. It argues discipline actually creates freedom and happiness, which sounds counterintuitive at first.
It does a bit.
Well, think about it. Consistency frees you from constantly deciding what to do or if you feel like doing it. The Source brings in James Clear here. He says, the discipline to show up every day, stick to the schedule, do the work, especially when you don't feel like it, is so valuable that it's literally all you need to become better 99% of the time.
Wow, 99%.
Yeah. And it points out, how many successful creative people, like those Tim Ferriss interviews, have these consistent routines, meditation, exercise. That discipline underpins everything. It reduces decision fatigue. It saves your best energy for the actual creative work.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, reducing the friction. So we're working on the inner game. How do we structure the projects themselves for success? The book mentions SMART goals, but with a twist.
Right, not the standard corporate SMART necessarily. Here it's simple, meaningful, actionable, realistic, and trackable.
Simple, meaningful, actionable, realistic, trackable.
Actionable is a
Good.
key. Start the goal with a verb, not just chapter 1, but write chapter 1. It immediately implies action.
Got it. Makes it a task.
Realistic means looking honestly at your available resources, time, energy, money. It forces you to spot potential drag points, things that could slow you down right at the start.
Proactive troubleshooting.
Exactly. And trackable means you know what progress looks like. Even for qualitative goals, like be a better friend, you can track actions, call mom once a week, have one deep chat with a friend monthly.
Makes it concrete. And this leads to a really blunt point in the book: no date, no finish.
Oof. Yeah.
It hurts.
No wiggle room there.
Undated tasks. They get a free pass to someday maybe land. Because without a deadline, there's no real commitment. Our brains just naturally prioritize things with time pressure.
It's just how we're wired, isn't it? And this ties into the idea of the success pack, your support team.
Okay, tell me about the success pack.
It's your personal crew, maybe 3 to 5 specific people. They fall into 4 categories: guides, mentors, people who've been there; peers, people at your level who challenge you, not just cheer you on; supporters, people who practically help you do the work, maybe by taking other things off your plate;
Okay, guides, peers, supporters.
and beneficiaries. Crucially, who will benefit when you finish this? Thinking about them makes it real. Activating this whole pack, telling them about the project, it adds accountability and counteracts the naysayers.
I really like that. Makes it external, shared. So we have the project set up, the support team. How do we manage the actual time and energy? The book talks about time blocks.
Yeah, 4 universal types: focus blocks, admin blocks, social blocks, and recovery blocks.
Focus, admin, social recovery. Oh,
Focus blocks are for your deep work you're creating. The Source suggests most people max out at maybe 3 good ones a day.
3. Okay, that's realistic.
Admin blocks are for batching similar tasks: email, calls, paperwork. The key is not letting admin constantly creep into and steal your focus time. Because admin work, it expands to fill the time you give it.
Oh, tell me about it.
Social blocks are for connection, meetings, real-time interaction.
And recovery blocks. These seem important.
Hugely important and often underestimated. You need to recharge, like a battery. The suggestion is roughly 1 recovery block for every 2 focus or social blocks.
And that includes basic stuff like sleeping, eating.
Absolutely. Sleeping, eating, showering, taking a walk, meditating, anything that replenishes your energy. It's not optional. It's required for sustained effort.
So fitting these blocks in, when is the best time? The book mentions chronotypes.
Right. Are you a morning lark, a night owl, or maybe an afternoon peaking emu? Knowing your natural energy rhythm is key. And the advice is pretty bold. Schedule your focus blocks during your peak time and make that the default. Make other things work around it. rather than you constantly defending your focus time.
Flip the script on availability.
Exactly. And this also ties into momentum planning, planning your day, ideally before you even check email, and planning your week ahead.
Okay, so structure is key. But how many projects can we realistically juggle? This brings up the 5 projects rule.
Yes, and acknowledging recurring projects. This is a big one. The source points out that 50 to 75% of our available time is often already eaten up by ongoing responsibilities, work tasks, family duties, life admin.
Right, the stuff that just keeps coming.
So realistically, you might only have capacity for 1 or 2 new, significant best work projects at any given time. Trying to do more just leads to everything stalling.
That's a sobering thought, but probably true for many of us.
And a good rule of thumb, if you can clearly list the steps of a recurring task, maybe you can delegate it or automate it.
Good point. What about projects involving other people? Any pitfalls there?
Oh yeah, relay time. The waiting period when a task passes from one person to another. We often forget to account for this.
The handoff?
Exactly. And bad handoffs are project killers. Unclear instructions, using the wrong communication channel, not being explicit about who's supposed to do what next. That classic email sent to 5 people saying, just thoughts. That's a terrible handoff. No one knows who owns it.
Guilty as charged sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have tools, structures, but sometimes we are the bottleneck, right? The book talks about no-win scenarios.
These are those insidious stories we tell ourselves about why success might actually be bad. They act like drag anchors on our projects.
What are some common ones?
3 big ones. First, the success will wreck my relationship's tail. The fear that achieving something big will alienate people, make you unrelatable, or cost you friendships.
Okay, I can see that.
Second, the success versus virtue myth. The belief that becoming successful somehow means compromising your values or becoming a worse person. The source argues success actually reveals character. It doesn't inherently corrupt it.
Interesting distinction.
And third, the what if I can't do it again trap. This hits high achievers hard. Fear that this success is a fluke, that you can't possibly repeat it or maintain that level. The book reassures you that success builds on itself. You'll be a different, likely more capable person next time.
Those are powerful myths. And this connects to something else mentioned Jeff Goins on the myth of the starving artist.
Yes, a really potent but ultimately false narrative. This idea that true artists or creatives must suffer financially, that pursuing your calling means sacrificing stability. It's a story that subtly encourages us to play it safe, choose mediocrity, rather than go all in on our best work.
Because safety feels, well, safer.
Right. But is mediocrity truly safe? The source brings in Seth Godin's tall poppy idea here. The myth says tall poppies get cut down, but Godin flips it. Only the tall poppy gets the full sunlight.
Yeah.
Only the tall poppy reaches its potential and is able to contribute what it's capable of. Mediocrity isn't a place to thrive.
Wow. Okay, so lean into being the tall poppy. But what about actual naysayers, people who do try to cut you down?
The advice is pretty direct. Don't engage. Don't waste your energy trying to convince them or make them happy.
Easier said than done sometimes.
Definitely. Instead, focus your energy on your yay-sayers, the people in your success pack who do support you.
And there's a technique mentioned, the wonder intervention.
Yeah, from Jeffrey Davis. When you get that unwanted critical input, instead of shutting down, you physically rub your temples and repeat silently. Open up instead of size up. It's a little mental trick to shift from defensiveness to looking for any potential, even tiny opportunity or insight, or just letting it go.
Open up instead of size up. I like that. It sounds like reframing.
Exactly. And related to this is doing a pre-mortem. Before you even start, imagine the project has failed. Why did it fail? It helps you anticipate drag points from a realistic place, not a fearful one.
Okay, so anticipate challenges, build resilience, but actually finishing. Getting across the line. The book calls it the red zone.
Yeah, like in American football, those last 20 yards, it often feels the hardest. You're so close, but it feels like the work is stretching out infinitely.
What's the advice for powering through that red zone?
The core advice is double down by returning to the why. Why did you start this project in the first place? Think about your beneficiaries, those people who will be better off. Think about the long-term benefits for yourself. Finishing is a gift you give yourself.
Reconnect with the meaning.
Precisely. And also, celebrate small wins, especially in that tough final stretch. Acknowledging progress builds momentum. It shifts your internal narrative from just stuff happened to look what I have accomplished. It's empowering.
That makes sense. Keep the motivation up. What about after finishing? Is there anything important then?
Absolutely critical. The source stresses the need for downtime and transition time. Finishing a big project, something you've poured yourself into, it creates a void.
An energetic void.
Yeah. Your time, your focus, maybe even part of your identity was tied up in it. Suddenly it's gone. That can feel weird, unsettling, even lead to burnout if you jump straight into the next thing. You need space.
And this is where victory laps come in.
Exactly. Like athletes running around the stadium. We have a fundamental need to acknowledge completion, to show our work, be seen for it. Think about wedding receptions, graduation ceremonies, showing off a new baby. They're all forms of victory laps. Find a way to mark the accomplishment.
Acknowledge it properly.
Mm-hmm. And one last super practical thing. Cat work, cleanup, archive, trash.
See cat work.
For all your digital files, notes, research related to the project, do it immediately after finishing. It's like, eating that frog you don't want to eat. But cleaning it up now saves you massive headaches later. Yeah. It prevents clutter from building up in your systems and, frankly, in your head.
A final act of discipline.
You could say that.
And one final, maybe surprising insight the book touches on, about relationships.
Oh, yeah, this was fascinating. Recent science suggests that how supportive we are when people share good news triumphs, joys, is actually a better predictor of relationship health and stability.
Better than just being there for the bad times.
Better, yeah. Better predictor of satisfaction, intimacy, commitment. It really underscores the power of celebrating successes, both our own and others. Be a good receiver of good news.
Wow. That's a powerful thought to end on. So, let's try to synthesize this. What does this all mean for you, the listener? We've covered a lot, defining your unique best work, tackling those internal gremlins like head trash and no-win scenarios, planning projects smartly with dates and support,
Managing your time and energy with blocks, and understanding your capacity.
pushing through the red zone, celebrating, transitioning. The tools are definitely there in the source. You really do have a clearer path now from just having an idea to actually getting it done.
And what stands out to me is that finishing well, it isn't just about those external hacks or systems, valuable as they are. It's deeply connected to cultivating internal qualities, awareness, discipline, courage, and challenging those hidden narratives that keep us playing small. It's a continuous cycle.
It really is. So maybe the final thought to leave you with is this. Consider how consistently showing up, doing your best work, and finishing it. How might that not only transform your own life, but how might it also ripple outwards? Empowering others around you, perhaps, to step up and embrace their own tall poppy potential, too.